It was walking through the gates of hell. It was horrible.
Allison Mack, a former Hollywood actress known for playing Superman's bestie on Smallville.
Clark?
Once a top disciple in NXIVM, now out of prison, unspooling how she got tangled up in a sex cult on Michael Rosenbaum's podcast, Inside of You.
How did I get to a point where I thought it was okay to feel in power of people?
The dark details of this twisted tale revealed in explosive new interviews.
That part of my personality came out with my slaves. And that is a part of myself that I have to contend with, you know? And that's where I went to prison for that.
It's a story of extortion, it's a story of fear, it's a story of sexual abuse, emotional abuse.
Allison, straight ahead.
Allison admits to inflicting unspeakable abuse, but says she was groomed by the master manipulator, the charismatic cult leader of a group he dubbed NXIVM.
Keith Raniere presented as this sort of intellectual, charming, manipulative person.
Allison pulled women into a cruel sorority that Raniere created.
So one would say authenticity is being as you are.
Canadian podcaster Natalie Robomed is the host of Allison After NXIVM.
It's very intense to sit across from somebody and hear them recount these incredibly difficult, tough moments, and to have them break down in front of you.
Nothing that I did with my slaves wasn't something that I had already done with our group.
Allison Mack was sort of at the top of the brutality pyramid. And so she is being abused, but then she becomes everyone else's worst nightmare.
For Sarah Edmondson, the scars left by NXIVM are both emotional and physical, literally etched into her skin. Like Allison, Sarah Edmondson was also an actress living in Vancouver. She appeared in Hallmark movies like At Home in Mitford.
No, I'm forgetting so much recently since this. My husband Hal says I have pregnesia.
Sarah says she became a golden goose for NXIVM, recruiting hundreds of new members, rising through the ranks.
People were taking self-improvement classes. This was about family and growth and strength. But underneath it all was a darker aspect to NXIVM.
For Allison, her journey from Hollywood to prison began when she went to a weekend retreat for NXIVM, later flying to Albany to meet the group's enigmatic leader, Keith Raniere.
I'm an interesting person, I'm a controversial person, but most importantly, I'm an unconventional person.
He claimed to be the world's most intelligent man, a fantastic concert pianist, a wonderful volleyball player. He also claimed to be celibate. Many of those claims would turn out not to be true.
After Smallville finished its 10-season run, she left the West Coast and moved permanently to Albany, near NXIVM's headquarters.
But I was so hell-bent on the fact that I was up and I was needed to be fixed, and that this was the place I was gonna get fixed.
Allison herself was in what she thought was a consenting sexual relationship with Keith. From about 2015 to 2016, he was having sex with her every day, under the guise of it being energy work, and it being a way to deal with her insecurities.
Sarah and her husband Nippy, both former NXIVM members, now live in Georgia with their 2 kids. But both she and Allison say they were recruited into a depraved sorority within NXIVM called DOS, which stood for Dominus Obsequium Sororium. Raniere coined the term, claiming it was Latin for master over the slave women.
Keith Raniere controlled all of these women by extortion, by learning their deepest, darkest secrets, not only their secrets, but the secrets of their family members, of their friends.
So-called masters like Mack, punishing and controlling women they called their slaves.
There were punishments, and they were both physical and mental, and sometimes the physical punishments, like a extended cold shower, or planks, or standing in the snow at 3 a.m.
Sarah says she never had sex with Keith, but some women in the group, like Allison Mack, were coerced to become Raniere's sex slaves.
As part of that, Allison ended up having threesomes.
What the am I doing? Like, this feels so weird. But again, in my head, I'm like, it's just because you're so limited in your ability to love, you know?
Sarah says as part of DOS, she was drawn into the most excruciating ordeal, at a top-secret initiation ceremony at a house outside Albany.
Let us in blindfolded and sat us in a semicircle, buck naked, no clothes, on a sheepskin rug.
Sarah says she thought they were getting tattoos. Instead, she says, she was branded.
Imagine a hot laser dragged across your flesh for 30 minutes without anesthetic.
It really was just this sick fantasy of Keith Raniere that he would be permanently on their bodies for life.
In total, 20 to 30 women in Doss were branded, including Allison Mack.
I had to say, Master, would you brand me? It would be an honor.
After Sarah's husband, Nippy, saw that she'd been branded, the facade of a self-help group shattered. He knew something sinister was happening.
I was like, wait, what? Branding people with... And so I heard that, and my whole body had kind of that rush of adrenaline in your stomach, and I felt, oh God, we've been conned.
Sarah says her husband urged her to file a complaint in July of 2017 with the New York State Department of Health. The story became front-page news. At the same time, a massive criminal investigation was launched.
Keith Raniere found the walls were closing in on him as he quickly fled to Mexico.
NXIVM's reign of abuse would finally end in March 2018. That's Allison in the black tank top as Raniere was arrested by Mexican authorities and extradited. This video of that moment leaked online.
Keith Raniere is charged with a litany of crimes: racketeering, conspiracy, money laundering, wire fraud, sex trafficking, extortion, obstruction of justice, just to name a few.
Allison was also charged with an array of crimes, including racketeering, in a superseding indictment. She later pled guilty and was sentenced to 3 years in prison, serving 21 months. After a 6-week-long trial, a jury convicted Keith Raniere on 7 federal charges, including sex trafficking, racketeering, and possession of child pornography. His sentence, a crushing 120 years in prison.
I hope that his victims can take some solace in the fact that he's going to be away for the rest of his life.
Sarah has built a life beyond the shadow of NXIVM, helping countless others break the spell of master manipulators in the way she broke free from Keith Raniere.
I just always thought he was a little schlubby and kind of gross. And now I think he's what we all know him to be: a sociopathic, sex-addicted, narcissistic douche.
Our thanks to Juju. For much more on this story, watch Impact by Nightline, Under a Spell, now streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu.